Hello YouTube, fwiejfiw here, and today I would like to share my thoughts on fat pride and fat acceptance. But before I begin, I would first like to define both the terms. Fat acceptance is a social movement that works to alter the derogatory attitudes perpetuated about fat people, and often discussing the counterproductive nature of fat shaming and the dangerous implications that can occur as a result of it. The social movement has a large variety of topics, including notions on topics such as the detrimental values of idealized body stereotypes, thin privilege, and other perceived cultural norms that are seen as damaging to the lives of many people and the future generation. First, I would like to address thin privilege, the idea that systematically and socially thin people are inherently more advantaged in life, and that fat people are constantly faced with fat phobia and weight discrimination. This is a rather conjecturized view of society. Society revolves around the operating institutionalized system of the kyriarchy, a system essential to preventing Darwinian liberty and thus anarchy. This sounds like a tangent, but a kyriarchy is a system that means all people are most likely to be subject to hierarchical domination, social oppression, and self-submission. This means that no matter who you are or what you are both disadvantaged and advantaged simultaneously in an infinite amount of ways. Thus, nobody has the perfect life. To suggest that thin people are excluded from oppression and are inherently advantaged is a very ludicrous and Marxist idea. How privileged you are is relative to who you are and your own personal circumstances. Even the richest politicians and footballers face discrimination. Evolutionarily, a person who differs from a social majority or a norm is likely to be subject to ridicule and bullying. I believe that fat acceptance is beneficial to tolerate those who are different and allow acceptance of people who potentially suffer eating disorders, and combat the derogatory discrimination that fat people experience. Judge people for who they are and not what they are. Whether somebody is fat, thin, gay, straight, black, white, those are negligible reasons to criticize or hate someone. There are nasty fat people and nasty thin people. No specific demographic is inherently bad. Having experienced bullying for my size, I do not agree with fat shaming, the act of making somebody feel ashamed for being fat. All in all, the movement of fat acceptance is roughly beneficial to combat fat hatred. However, in my own opinion, as somebody who is overweight and somebody who has previously been obese, I do not agree with fat pride. If you are considerably overweight or suffer from anorexia, please find the support to better your life, not for the approval of others or acceptance, but to ensure that you have a longer, happier and healthy life. This world isn't perfect, but enduring suffering from an eating disorder is not something to embrace in life. To encourage destructive behaviors is detrimental. Pro-ana websites have led to adolescents dying from nutritional insufficiencies, and fat encouragement has led adolescents to unfortunately die of cardiac arrest, and other such fatalities. Fat pride and anorexia pride are contrasts, and thus they have conflicting ideas and debates on beauty standards. Many both fat and thin people face shaming. A controversial example of this is from Meghan Trainor's song All About That Bass, discriminating towards thin girls, calling them skinny bitches, and claiming that boys like, to paraphrase, something to hold on to, instead of influencing her younger generation of listeners not to be affected by what others think of their physique. I would also like to address subjectivity. The fat pride movement encourages sayings such as, dogs go for bones and men go for meat. This is a false generalization. Some men like skinny girls, some men like fat girls. It's all a matter of perspective and attraction. There are certain people that I'm not attracted to, and certain people that I am. Does this mean that the people I'm not attracted to are oppressed by society, and that my perception on beauty is a reflection of a discriminatory norm that I've been conditioned to by society? No, it is relative to one's own opinion. Nobody's closed-minded or horrible because they're not attracted to a certain type of person. Fat pride is an example of encouraging destructive behaviours. Feel free to debate or dismantle this analogy I'm about to use, but to summarise, a smoker shouldn't take pride in smoking, because they're hurting themselves and potentially others around them. Not that fat people are hurting anyone for being fat. But should that smoker be ridiculed and bullied? Of course not. And should a smoker be excluded or avoided? No. Should they be encouraged to smoke? No. Should they be assisted or helped to quit? Yes, to help them live a happy and healthy life. I can assure you that the pride and happiness that comes from losing weight and feeling healthier and more energized outweighs the autonomy and freedom of consumption. I did this not for acceptance but for my own pleasure, and although I have a long way to go and my weight has fluctuated over the years, I will endeavour to continue. Secondly, if you are thin, fat, or any other body type, I'd encourage you to judge people for who they are and not what they are. Adhering to a certain lifestyle is no reason to be discriminated. As long as you're happy and you're not harming anybody else, then feel free to pursue your life how you choose. Anyway, that was my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Did you agree with what I said, or do you differ from my opinion? I'd love to know in the comment section below. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe, or if you disagreed, leave me a dislike and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Anyway guys, keep procrastinating and I'll see you in the next video. Anyway guys, I apologise for my terrible audio quality and my quite frankly robotic voice. I did script this because there's no way I would have come up with these just over the top of my head. I'm also recording this off of an iPhone 4, so what do you expect? You know, soon I'm hoping to maybe get a good camera and maybe a nice mic, so maybe the videos that I upload in the future will have better quality.